is Kiva, and today I wanted to take you through some really easygoing yoga stretches for flexibility. You can have maybe a strap. If you have blocks, definitely use blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can always use books or pillows. So you just want to have something that you can place onto your hands, especially if you're trying to reach for the floor and you need a little assistance. So we'll start in a seated position. I am sitting on a block that I have between my feet. So you can sit with your knees folded. If you like, you can come into easy pose, Sukhasana, where you bring your feet close to the blocks and you allow your knees to fall out to the side. Now the other way is you can just take your legs straight and just come to a seat here. So we begin with making sure that our spine is nice and long as you take your shoulders away from your ears. Place your hands on top of your shoulders and just make some big circles. Just starting to get into shoulder joints. So we want to focus on taking deep inhales and long exhales. Take the circles in the other direction. So I just wanted to go through just some general kind of stretches for our body parts so we can increase flexibility. Relax your arms down to the side. Bend your right elbow, grab on with your left wrist or left hand, and just take the arm behind you. And as you come here, make sure your shoulders don't creep up by your ears, draw shoulders down. And we're going to stay in most of these poses for 5 deep breaths. And as you breathe, just notice where you feel any restriction in your body. One more inhale. And exhale. Release, and we'll switch sides. Bend your left elbow or right hand holds onto your left elbow as you take the arm back. Shoulders down, lift chest up. 5 breaths. Shoulders away from your ears. One more breath. And release. Good. Shake it out. Notice if you feel a little difference already in your shoulders. You can give yourself a hug or come into eagle arms. Let's start with the right under. Eagle arms. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, twist towards the left. Take a deep breath. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale back to center. Exhale, release. Other side, either giving yourself a hug or come into eagle arms. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, twist towards the right. So as we move into all of these different movements in our bodies, this gives us this opportunity to notice if there's a little restriction, like if one side is tighter than the other. So really notice what's going on in your body. One more inhale. Exhale back to center and release the arms down to the side. Right arm up. Take the hand between your shoulder blade. Left hand grabs onto or left hand on top of your right elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lean over towards the left. So you can use your hand to maybe guide you to go a little bit more towards the left. Beginning to feel a release on the right side of your body. Inhale back to center. Exhale, release as we switch sides. Left hand up between shoulder blade. Right hand grab onto left elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lean over towards the right. Focusing on really deep inhales. Two more deep inhales. Inhale back to center. Exhale, release. Take your legs forward. If they're not already forward, shake it out. As you begin to make your way to all fours, keeping your blocks handy, spread your fingers wide and just begin to get into your wrists, making circles with your wrists. I tend to do this a lot in my yoga practice just because I want to have flexibility in my wrists. Circles in the other direction. Come back to center and lay on your belly. Cross your right arm in front of your body, let's say over your sternum, and you start to bring your right shoulder blade to the floor, or right shoulder to the floor. With the left arm, you can just take it along your body. Still getting into shoulders. Take deep breaths. If you want more, you start to bend your right elbow. Maybe bring the hand onto your back. Bend the left elbow, palm facing up, and you can bring it between your shoulder blades or maybe interlace fingers. Take 3 more deep inhales. One more breath. If you have the bind release, press up, and then we go for the other side. Left arm going across your body. Left shoulder onto the floor, right arm next to your body, palm up, and you try to bring your chin towards the floor. With each exhale, see if you can release a little bit more into the pose. Stay here or start to bend your left elbow, palm onto your back. Bend your right elbow, palm facing up. You can see if you can bring the hand in between your shoulder blades or just let the palms face up, maybe interlace fingers. Take 3 more deep inhales. If you have your bind, release your bind. Bring the hands back to the floor. Bring your thumbs next to your rib cage. Or you can always walk your hands further forward. But we're going to lift up to an up dog. Keep the knees to the mat for this one. Shoulders down your back, chest forward. Come back to all fours. Curl your toes under and lift into down dog. For down dog, you can bend your knees slightly to lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Move your hips side to side. So down dog is really good to get into your hamstrings. Bring your knees to the mat. Step your left leg forward. Stepping your left leg forward, you can always place your hands onto blocks as you allow your hips to dip low and lift chest up. Now, at any time, say this is bothering your back knee, you can grab onto a pillow or a strap and place your knee onto the pillow or strap. Allow your hips to dip low as you lift chest up. I meant pillows, or you can, if you have soft blocks, you can place your knee onto your blocks. If you like, you can bring your hands onto your thigh, let the hips drip low, chest up. Hands back to your blocks. If it's available, lift your back foot off the floor. So I'm lifting my right knee up, my right foot up. Left hand can reach behind and grab onto the foot if that's available for you. If not, you can just have the foot up. If you hold on to the foot, rotate your foot towards the right. Come back to center and take your hips a little bit lower. And you can remove the block. Rotate the foot towards the right. Back to center. Take the hip lower. One more, rotate towards the right. Back to center. And maybe the hip goes a little bit lower. If you have the foot, gently release. Walking your hands back up to center. So you can keep your knee on the pillow or on the floor. Bring your hands to the floor, but then with my right foot, I turn it away. So it's at a 90-degree angle, and I can bring my hips so they're facing the lateral edge of the mat. Moving into the adductors of your thigh. Lean towards that left foot. Walk your hands forward, tilt your hips back. Come back to center, lift up, and see if you can go a little bit lower. Walk your hands forward, tilt hips back. Come back to center, perhaps you go a little bit lower. Bring both hands to the floor and come back to all fours. So if you have the pillow, switch so you can place it under your left knee. Grab onto your blocks as you walk your right leg forward. Hips going low as you lift chest. With your front foot, we want to try to keep the knee over the ankle. We definitely don't want to try to have it too far because then we want this foot flat on the floor. So walk the foot so it's under the ankle, under the knee. And then take your hips forward and lift chest. You can keep your hands on your blocks or your books or whatever you have, or onto the floor, or maybe you take your hand onto your thigh. Release hands back onto the block. Bend your back knee. Opposite hand grabs onto the foot, letting your hips dip low as you lift chest up. We always want to make sure that we have the alignment of the spine that we're being very mindful about. Hold it onto your back foot. You can take the foot over towards the left, back to center. Allow your hips to go a little bit low. Perhaps you move the block. The foot goes over towards the left, back to center. Hips go a little bit lower. Take the foot to the left, back to center. Perhaps your hips go lower. Gently release. Bring both hands to the inside of your foot. Now with your back leg, take the foot in line with the knee. So it's still at a 90-degree angle that we're creating. So the knee is directly under the hip, moving into our adductors, ADD muscles. And you start to just lean to the side. And then you kind of notice, okay, am I tighter on this side more than the other side? And you breathe. Bring your hands to the floor. Take your hips back. So it's like you kind of releasing out of the muscle. Then you come back up. And perhaps you go a little bit lower. Hands to the floor. Tilt hips back. Come back to center. Perhaps go a little bit lower. One more, hands to the floor, hips back. Back to center, maybe go a little bit lower. Bringing both hands to the floor. Oh, knees together. Move your pillow if you have one. Maybe do some circles with your hips. Coming into a forward fold. Lift halfway and grab onto opposite elbows, come into ragdoll. When we move into our forward fold, have a side bend in your knees so your belly and thighs touch. And as you hold on to your elbows, you create traction to the side of your body by using your arms. If it feels good, you can swing side to side or maybe go for some twist in your spine. Release your hands to the floor. Spread your feet or legs a little bit wider, coming into a wide leg forward fold. Once again, you can use your blocks. And you can make a determination if you want them on the higher height, and you can bring your forearms onto your blocks. So wherever you decide, if it's on the blocks, pillows, books, on the floor, keep length into your low back and softness in your knees. And move your hips side to side. As long as you can keep length into your low back, perhaps you take the blocks to the second height. Still moving hips. And you can make a determination on how low you want to go as long as you keep length in your low back. Lift halfway, grab onto your right foot with both hands, and you just fold over your right leg, still moving your hips. And then reach over towards your left leg, taking deep inhales and long exhales. Coming back to center, if you have your blocks, move them out to the side. Heel ball feet in, still a little bit wider than hip distance, so we're not coming all the way in. And begin to walk your hands forward, kind of like you're going back into your down dog, but the feet are really wide. Don't go too far in your down dog because you're going to start to bend your knees and then lift up. Do that 5 times. Bend and up. So doing this, we start to get into the ankles, knees, hips. One more. Walk your hands forward into your down dog. Coming onto your knees, all fours. And swing the legs around, come to a seated position. Bend your knees. And then wrap your arms around your thighs. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, drape your body over your legs. So begin to press your heels down into the mat. If you want to, you can start to begin to straighten your legs, but you make this determination on how far you should go. Three more inhales. Slowly coming out, take your legs straight. Stay in Dandasana for a few deep breaths. Make your way onto your back. Take your legs straight up in the air. Internal, external rotation. Just turn your toes in and out. Bring your feet to the floor. Bring your right knee in towards your chest and hug it in towards your chest. Now you can keep your left knee bent or maybe start to take the left leg straight. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze it in towards your body. And release your leg to the floor. Grab onto your right foot, or left foot, left shin rather. Hug it in towards your body. Take deep inhale breaths. One more breath. Now bring both knees in towards your chest. Take your legs straight again. Keeping your feet dorsiflexed, reach behind your thighs. Keep your hips on the floor and see if you can bring your legs a little bit closer in towards you. Gently release. Bend your knees, crossing at your thighs, like if you were sitting in a chair and you were crossing your legs. That's the position you have. Perhaps you can go for a second bind. So we're right leg on top, and maybe the right foot goes under the left calf or shin. If not, just cross at your legs and that's fine. Take your arms out to the side. Inhale. With your exhale, let your knees fall over towards the left. So the right leg is on top, knees fall over to the left. Bend your elbows and then grab onto opposite elbows, placing your right hand on top. So the right hand is on top of the left elbow. And then take your elbows over towards the right. Bring your elbows back to center. Release your arms to the floor. And then bring your legs back to center. And switch sides. Left leg is on top. Like you're sitting in a chair and you're crossing at your thighs. Perhaps you can go for the bind where you take the left foot under the right shin. Inhale. With your exhale, take the legs over towards the right. Bend your elbows. Left hand on top as he grabs onto the right elbow. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist. Let the elbows fall over to the right. Still taking deep breaths. Bring your arms back to center. Release your arms to the floor. And bring your legs back to center. Oh, uncross. Shake it out. Take the legs straight up in the air. Elbows in towards your body. So we're bending at a 90-degree angle. And you're going to press your elbows into the floor. Easiest way to sit up. So the elbows are pressed. And it'll kind of help you to press down into the elbows onto the floor. You're going to let the legs fall forward and you just push yourself up into a seated position. If you have blocks or a pillow or anything that you can stack under your back, this next one can feel really good to open your back. And so you place the block anywhere behind your back. Now, you might say, well, where can I place it? Do I place it closer to the low back, to the bra strap area? You'll kind of figure out where you want to place it. Just make sure your hips stay on the floor. Now, we're bringing the back of the head to the floor, not the top of the head, the back of the head. If the back of your head doesn't touch the floor, you can always place a block or a pillow under your head. Stay here for a few breaths. You can even take your legs straight as you lay over the block. So if you've never laid over a block, this can feel kind of challenging, I must say. But after you've been doing this and you start playing around with it, it really does start to feel good because it's opening your chest so you can take deep breaths. And then it'll also help with your posture just overall. We're always leaning forward, on our computer or on our phone. So this way we're taking the body in the opposite direction. Bend your knees. Feet onto the floor. Lift your hips to remove the block. And then slowly come down into Shavasana. Taking your feet as wide as your mat. Arms along body, palms face up. Staying in Shavasana for as long as you need. For our gentle stretch. Thank you guys so much. The light in me bows to the light in each and every one of you. Be blessed. Namaste.